What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here, the bottom right hand corner of Dreamcatcher LE, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep this series rolling in his favor. His name is MaNa. In his opponent, spawning in the top left hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this series just yet. His name is Snute. So guys and girls, game number 1 in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin was, of course, one of the quarterfinals of that tournament. And I must say that it has been absolutely, in game number 1, MaNa went for some cheese, and it really paid off. He went for, of course, that photon cannon rush into the gateway and the robotics facility, and just kind of really threw Snute off a little bit. I don't think Snute was expecting that whatsoever, that there was going to be some cheese in game number 1. Does look like at this portion of the game, it does look like MaNa is going to go for a little bit more of a standard build here. It does look like Snute's going to go for that hatch gas pool opener, so he's going to go for a very standard opener as well. But it does look like that gateway into the cybernetics core, and of course that natural nexus as well in the low ground. MaNa is going to be playing what seems to be a little bit more of a straight up game. But, he went for some cheese and it really paid off. He got one game on Snute. Now he's got to get a couple more. So the question is, that's easier said than done when you're playing one of the best Zerg players out there. So here we go. Metabolic Boost is going to be started here, looks like. And then we're going to have 2 queens pop out of each hatchery. Or I should say 1 out of each hatchery. And then some handful of Zerglings. We're going to see out of the gateway, an adept is going to be constructed. That Adept's most likely going to try to get some scouting information, see if he can pick off 1 or 2, a couple of drones here or there. Looks like this probe is going to try to see the timing on that 3rd hatchery. Does look like he is going to scout that 3rd hatchery is going to be going down here very, very shortly. Just trying to delay it, and it does look like Snute did get a probe for his troubles, so very nicely done there. We do have some Zerglings that are starting to make their way around, and it does look like we are going to see that warp gate being researched right now out of the cybernetics core. We're also going to see a Stargate follow-up, and here we go. Really nice surround here by Snute, trying to get this Adept. The Adept is able to shade away, though, at least for the time being, but more and more Zerglings are starting to move out. I wonder if he is going to try, that is Snute, do a little bit of some, get a little bit aggressive here. Would be very interesting. It does look like we're going to see a shield battery coming out, and it looks like that Zergling speed upgrade is now finishing up. So here we go. Does look like Snute is going to try to make his way over to MaNa's side of the map, but it looks like the defense so far has been pretty good. Here we go, though. These Zerglings, it looks like they are going to run off. But very nice defense there to start off this game. Looks like an Oracle is going to be coming out here for MaNa. Zerglings once again are going to be trying to make their way in. And just like that, he's going to be shoot off again. So it looks like Snute wanted to get a little bit, kind of maybe do a little bit of some damage with those handful of Zerglings. Is not going to be the case, at least as of right now. Looks like that robotics facility will be going down for MaNa. And Snute, once again, just wants to see if he can get an angle, possibly. As, of course, he's on his 3rd hatchery. Templar Archives, or I'm sorry, Twilight Council is going to be constructed for MaNa right now. And those warp gates are going to get started. And so, it looks like we're setting ourselves up for a macro-focused game. I know Snute keeps on trying to see if there's any types of, scouting information that he can possibly get. We got a couple Oracles moving across the map now for MaNa. And he's probably going to try to pick off a couple of drones here or there. Looks like that is exactly what he's going to be able to do. One of those Oracles is getting a little bit, you know, getting close to dying, but he does look like he flies away before he's able to take any kinds of critical amounts of losses there with those oracles. So both players so far giving each other a decent amount of respect. Looks like we're seeing the tech of choice here for Snute. He's going to go for that Roach Horn, as well as an Evolution Chamber, and then morphing in the lair. So we start getting those higher tier lair-based units. And it looks to me that Snute wants to get aggressive, though. It does look like this third Nexus is going to be going down here shortly. Creep Spread's starting to move out. I wonder if he wants to get pretty aggressive here, though. I do have a feeling that Snute wants to do a little bit of some damage. It does look like we're going to get a couple Archons, so we may get some Archon drops. Lots of Zerglings are moving around on this left-hand side of the map, and it does look like MaNa is just barely going to miss this. But it does look like the same can be said for Snute, because here we go. It does look like the Queens are in a beautiful position, though. They're target firing down the War Prism, but here we go. It does look like they are going to try. Beautiful pickup micro there. Got to be very, very careful. Don't want to lose this Archon. The Archons are very, absolutely incredible. Oh my, beautiful play there by Snute, getting the War Prism as well as one of those Oracles. Very well done, but he is there is things happening on the opposite side of the map. It does look like a counterattack by Snute. He is going to try to do as much damage as possible with these Zerglings. But all that said and done, no kinds of real critical losses. Does look like, though, we're going to see some Roaches starting to move across the map. We're also going to see the Hydralistan going down, as well as the Glial Reconstitution is going to be researched for the Roaches. And beautiful play here by MaNa. He's going to try to surround this army, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be able to surround these Roaches. They're completely blocked off by these rocks. So this attack that was supposed to happen for Snute looks like it's ending before it even started. Fourth hatchery is going to be going down over at the gold base expansion. But wow, I mean, this is what I mean. It's like, MaNa is one of these players. He just plays a very smart style of play, and I really do enjoy watching MaNa do his thing. But Snute, on the other hand, he's certainly not out of this game just yet. He is ahead of the supply. Glial Reconstitution is going to be finishing up in less than 5 seconds. And we're starting to see the Hydras come out. So those Hydras are going to be started, and they're going to be popping out here shortly for Snute. And I think that Snute, he really does want to get aggressive. He does not want to allow MaNa to be just, happily mining on these 3 bases. Because he knows the longer this game goes, it's going to become, a real problem for him. We are going to see 2 Forges coming in. So we're going to see this +1/+1 upgrades coming in shortly, most likely for MaNa. And we're also going to see the Phoenix, a Phoenix coming out of that Stargate. So this is going to get very interesting extremely quickly. There's a lot of units that are starting to move out. There's not a whole lot here, but I'll tell you what Snute what MaNa does have are some pretty tanky units, including Immortals as well as Archons. Got some Sentries in there. Those Sentries can be very, very helpful as well. But it does look like Snute is going to try to plan the surround here. That Zealot was in a beautiful position. So here it comes. It does look like Snute is going to try to commit here somewhat. But it does look like MaNa is going to get those force fields up. He's going to buy himself a little bit more time. It looks like he's going to continue trying to just chip off a little bit of this army at a time. Beautiful force fields. Once again, splitting up this army. Absolutely brilliant play here by MaNa so far. Absolutely great play. And MaNa's right back in this game. I mean, it just looks like, the Snute's got such a nice-sized army, but those beautiful force fields are just splitting up the army and really giving Snute up an issue. Muscular Arguments are going to be finishing up here, but it looks like MaNa is just on top of this right now. Absolutely on top of those force fields, playing absolutely brilliantly. We're seeing the High Templar being added into the mix for MaNa. But wow, man, just beautiful play here by MaNa so far. The beautiful micro. Ground Carapace level 1 is going to be finishing up, as well as ground weapons and ground armor. Those two are going to be finishing up for MaNa. Carapace is going to be finishing up here for Snute. Here we go, once again, catching this army just a little bit off guard. And Snute is just, you know, he can't get a break here. He's trying to get an angle, wants to not allow his opponent to go on 4 bases. It does look like there's going to be a little counterattack in here. The shield battery is going to be extremely helpful, but the Zerglings are going to get a few kills. But just everything, all that said and done, it does look like he does get the cancel, though, on that 4th expansion. So at least Snute was able to get something done there as he's moving into the Hive. So he's going to try to get those Hive base units here shortly. And you know what? I got to say that right now, a lot of these Overlords are about to go down. And I'm actually starting to kind of get worried for Snute. This army is starting to get really scary with some really good storms. I mean, look at how many Immortals are out here. This is scary. This is where it's going to get extremely scary. Now, here we go. It does look like Snute, once again, does not want to allow the Protoss player to get much of a tankier army. Lots of Hydras are out, but man, this is just, oh, dude, when you're seeing all of these Hydras are going to make things, or, you know, really, when you just have Hydras, it's not going to do much against this ball of units by MaNa. MaNa is starting to take a nice lead here against his opponent. I think we're seeing the Spire coming in, so we might be seeing some Spire play by Snute. But the problem is it a little bit just too late? Because here comes MaNa. He's starting to move out, trying to do as much damage as possible. It does look like this gold base is going to be under a lot of pressure. Storms are starting to come in, and man, there's a lot of these units are getting just hit so hard. This death ball of Protoss units is just moving across the map. Absolutely just so tanky, and now we're starting to see a couple of these photon cannons are going to be target fire down, but I just don't know, is this going to be enough here for Snute to hold on? We are going to see now the lurkers are coming in, but the problem is there just too much Protoss here? The storms are going to start coming down on those lurkers. Oh my god, so much damage is being dealt here by MaNa. Now you gotta be very careful, do not want to overextend. Still a lot of Immortals are out on the playing field. But all that's said and done, as we approach that 12 or around that 13-minute mark, lots of you know, just lots of things are happening all over the map. I do feel that MaNa did overextend just a little bit, and Snute really is doing a good job with the counterattacks. But I gotta say that MaNa is starting to slowly but surely just kind of keep Snute contained, at least at this point. Greater Spire is going to be coming in, so this could really help Snute out here shortly. He's going to begin that Greater Spire is going to be coming up here very soon. And, you know, with the lurkers out on the playing field as well now, that's definitely going to help really eliminate some of these units. But still, just this is a scary army that MaNa just keeps on reinforcing, moving across the map. He looks like he's going to go after this third base location. Now, there are going to be lurkers that are out, but he's going to get this round. It does look like there just isn't very much here for Snute to really hold on against this army. Lots of Hydras are back out on the playing field. Here come the storms, though. These High Templar are doing so much damage. All of these drones are just getting absolutely decimated at this point, and the Hydras are running to their deaths right now. Here we go. The Broodlords are going to be coming out here very, very shortly. The problem is there's just so much damage being dealt. Archons, now they do see the Broodlord cocoons, and it looks like they're going to try to just pounce on them right here and right now. It looks like MaNa wants to take this game right now, but I just wonder, is he overextending at this point? I don't know if he is, because the question that remains is that there's just more and more units that are being reinforced. So much damage is being dealt. GG is called, and MaNa takes a 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and MaNa. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.